registration is concluded today, there will be no window for those who will not have enlisted to vote. He said the suspension will allow the Commission to undertake verification, audit and clean up of the voters' roll in readiness for the August 8th poll. All right, so I want us to bring in my colleague Caroline B. She's here in Nairobi just to give us an update on what's happening, in areas around Nairobi where Kenyans, of course, are making last-minute dashes to register. Thank you so much, Caroline, for joining us. So talk to us about what are really Kenyans saying. Why didn't they, register, in the last couple of weeks? And right now, many people, we understand, are just getting ready to register before the time lapses.
Well, good morning to you, Betty. It's a last-minute rush, and Kenyans are actually known for being last-minute people. When they've been given a month to do the registration, mass voter registration exercise. But it is today that they've decided to come out and do that registration process. There's a different explanation or different reasons as to why that is happening today. And I'm at Kilimani Primary School, which is in Dagoretti North constituency. And if you can just see behind me, these are people who came here as early as 8 a.m. and the queues actually extend all the way to the road, and they are not sure at what time they're going to get their registration cards for that matter. And this is something that IBC has actually talked about, that it is not going to extend the period for registration for any person. Some quarters had actually said that they want that extended for a period of 2 weeks, but IBC said, well, they are not going to do it, because even after registration, or if the numbers or if the days are extended, the numbers are not going to be reached. And I'm going to speak to some of the people who came here as early as 8 a.m. to find out why did they decide to come here, the last minute moment to get their registration. And I'm joined by one lady. Maybe you can start by telling us your names and why you decided to do your registration today.
Okay, my name is Jane. I had not actually planned to come here today. My plan was to register at another center, Jamhuri Primary. But when I went there, I found they had closed and they had moved. So I was so discouraged and I was so disappointed, I just went back home. But I was so determined, so today I said, be it come rain, come shine, whether it's the last day, I will come. Because I believe my vote counts. Before, I was not feeling like we were being heard. The government wasn't really listening to people. I never had any hope whether I vote or not. But this time, I'm very determined and I believe we are empowered. Your vote counts and we are being listened to. That's why you see me here. As early as 8, I've been here for 3 hours. But I said, even if I spend the whole day here, I'm taking my card and I'm going to vote. Because I believe we are being listened to. As I said, we are empowered. Yeah.
And is it that you're transferring from one constituency to the next, or is it a matter of you voting for your first time?
No, I'm not transferring, and to be honest with you, it's the first time I'm voting. I've never had any hope before with my vote. I felt it didn't count, you vote, things are rigged, but this time I do believe that things will go well. That's why you see me here. Yeah, I'm not transferring. Nothing. I just feel we have the power to get what we want. Yeah, we are being listened to. Before, it's like we had no voice. Yeah.
And I'm interested to know, because when I look at your age and when I also look at some of the people here, they are quite young. But for you, I can say that, your age, you've been here for quite a moment. So what exactly did you decide to do this today? And do you believe that you're going to get the change this time around as opposed to other years?
Oh, yes, I believe we'll get a change. We all know before it was quite, dictatorship was there. That one everybody knows. There was no multi-party and all that. It was one rule. But I do believe it will change. Yeah.
Thank you, Sana. So let me get another gentleman over here. Santi, thank you very much, Madam. You can start by telling us your names and why have you decided to come here for the last day?
Yeah, my name's Wilfred Manduku. I've come here to do registration for a different polling station, because previously I'd voted back at Umoja, and because now I had to move to this place because of location. Maybe I moved from where I was living. Now I had to come here and then register fresh, or rather change the polling station to Kilimani from Umoja.
So my final question, is it a matter of laziness? Because you actually had 1 month to do this process, but you've decided on the last day, you know what, I'm going to get my card.
No, it's not laziness, but it's about now the work that we do. You can find that you don't have time to come, or you cannot be given time from your job to come and register another day. You are told you have tomorrow, Then tomorrow comes to tomorrow. Until now, this is the last day, and I'm determined I have to come and register.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aya, sawa. Thank you very much. Those are just some of the people who've decided to come here on the very last day. As we know, last minute moments for Kenyans to get registered. The lines are actually still continuing, and people are continuing to come here and flock into this place. We were supposed to speak to some of the IBC officials, but they are too busy registering people, and they do not have time to speak to us. But maybe once we go to the next center, we will be able to speak to them, and maybe they can give us the numbers of how the process has been. Betty?
All right, thank you very much, Caroline B, for your details. For the details there, we'll be keeping tabs throughout the day with our different reporters on the ground to get to just understand, you know, if indeed Kenyans could put up that number, spike it up from 2.16 million to at least 4 million, or half of the target of 6 million. Let's now link up with my colleague again, Rashid Ronald, joining us from Kisumu. Thank you very much, Rashid, for joining us. So, talk to us about the situation there. Is it the same as, you know, in different parts of Nairobi where you're having long queues today because today really is the last time that people can vote, can register? I beg your pardon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Betty Chalo. But first of all, happy Valentine. And of course, that notwithstanding, Kisumu here, the story is the same. And Betty, trust me, there are people who are not going to actually cast their vote come the general election if nothing happens. And this is the kind of people I'm talking about, are people right behind me. Look at this line. And of course, it's very, very a long queue. And these people have not gotten their ID cards. They are coming in today to see whether they can be able to register and actually get that all-important card that will ensure that they get that voters, they are registered as voters. And of course, it's a long queue. Hebu tafadhali niambie nini ambacho kinaendelea? Mbona hauna kitambulisho muda huu wote? Nitakushikia tu.
Sawa, mimi chenye mefanya nikose kitambulisho kwa muda huu wote, kuzaliwa nimezaliwa 79. Hata mimi mwenyewe niko na uhakika nimepita kiwango cha kuchukua ID, kwa sababu inafaa mtu achukue ID akiwa na 18 years. Mimi mzazi wangu ambapo ni baba alikufa nikiwa na miaka 2. Hata sahi hata wafu wakifufuka singeweza kumtambua kwa sura, kwa sababu miaka 2 huwezi kujua mzazi wako ni nani. Sasa nilikuwa nimebaki na mama na ndugu yangu mkubwa, ndio walinilea. Na wakati nilikuwa nimefikisha hiyo kiwango ya kuchukua kitambulisho, nikienda huko na kitambulisho ya mama wananifukuza ili nipate kitambulisho ya baba. Baba pia alikuwa mtu ambaye alikuwa na wanawake wengi. Sasa alipokufa hata haikujulikana ni mwanamke mgani alichukua hiyo kitambulisho yake. Sasa ilikuwa ni ngumu, kwa sababu nyumba yetu ndio ilikuwa nyumba ndogo. Sasa hata mama hakupata death ya certificate ya baba. Sasa hiyo ndio sababu ambapo ilifanya nikachelewa kuchukua kitambulisho. Juu nikienda nafukuzwa nilete kitambulisho ya baba, nikienda kuomba ndugu ya baba ili anisaidie, aweze kunisaidia na kitambulisho yake, ananikataza kwa sababu anaona ni kama nitachukua mali wake na mimi sio mtoto wake, na juu mimi ni mtoto wa ndugu yake.
Lakini sasa mbona imechukua, kulikuwa umepewa siku 14 ili uhakikisha kwamba umekuja kitambulisho ili uchukue kadi ya kura. Mbona unakuja siku ya mwisho kuuliza kitambulisho?
Hapa nilikuwa hapa tangu juzi, jana na leo. Tukipanga laini, watu ni wengi kweli wenye wako kwa na vitambulisho. Masaa inaenda kabla hatujakamilishiwa. Tena kesho saa 12 unatoka hata bila kukunywa chai ili ukuje tu upateko hiyo nafasi ambapo
Yeah, thank you, Betty. You've heard the line. The queue is very long. And probably before we go, Betty, I would like to ask one person here. Richard Ogendo, you've camped here since it started, 14 days. What is the status quo so far, please, briefly?
I think the people are encouraged. They want to get the IDs, but we keep getting wrong and conflicting information from the government. The president said that IDs will be given in 3 days. So these people come here believing that in 3 days they'll get the IDs. Yet we are not going to give them IDs in 3 days. So the government is giving the public wrong information. Another thing, I think our people here are working very, very slowly. It is because I think they're disparaging our ways of getting identity cards. It is like they don't want our people to vote.
Thank you very much. You've heard, Betty, from some of the leaders here who've been mobilizing people to actually register as voters. You've also heard from people who've not gotten ID cards, the way they are complaining, giving reasons here and there. But all the same, the clock is ticking. By 6 this evening. If you won't have registered, unless otherwise, you will not be able to cast your vote. Back to you, Betty, in Nairobi.
All right, thank you very much, Rashid Ronald, for that. Maybe just before I let you go, we're seeing that there are two queues there. One is for people hoping to get their ID cards. How can you compare it to the other one of where people are, queuing to register finally?
Yes, the one of people who've not taken their IDs is a bit longer than the one of people who are actually now registering. But compared to other days, I hope people can move around and the camera can zoom to that line. You look at it, that line is a bit short, but compared to other days, at least today we can say that it's a bit longer than other days, and it's like it's in a rush. Back to you, Betty.
All right, thank you very much, Rashid Ronald, for that reporting. He's joining us from Kisumu, just giving us an overview of the situation in different registration centers where Kenyans really are making the last-minute dash to register as voters. All right, let's now cross over and also link up with my colleague Francis Ontomo in Mombasa. Thank you so much for joining us. So is it the same situation in Mombasa where, you're having very many Kenyans, now today being the last day, going out to try and register before the day ends, actually?
Well, Betty, this is what we expected, and as you can see behind me, of course, the queues are building up here. We are at the Huduma Center, Registration Center, one of the busiest centers of registration right here at the heart of the city. And as we expected, indeed, that is the same thing that is happening here. Queues are building up. Of course, that last-minute push that has been described as a behavior of Kenyans, it is indeed being exhibited right here. And as we are seeing behind me, of course, many are coming up, lining up and trying to find their way to the registration desk. Actually, you may think that the IDs were just issued today morning because the queues are building up, and we are learning that this is not only happening here at the Huduma Center, but all across the Mombasa city. Registration centers are piling up with people trying to find their way to the exercise. I have been having a conversation with a few people here, and I'll be trying also to interview a few of them here. And some of them are actually raising concerns that they all want this exercise to be extended, something that, of course, we've had the IBC not once but severally say that they have their timelines, actually. They may not be extending this process, and they'll be ending it at this particular stage. It has been a whole month, of course, since the exercise began, and we understand that Kenyans have had all the time to register. But in the last couple of weeks, actually, we've been witnessing very few people coming out to register, and that has been quite characteristic of Kenyans. And we are seeing now many people coming here. And I'll be trying to pick the mind of a few Kenyans here just to understand why they are making this last-minute push. Bwana, tueleze jina lako, hii ni KTN, tueleze kwa nini umekuja kufanya registration yako siku ya leo?
Kwa majina naitwa Rafael Karisa. Na nimekuja kufanya registration kwa sababu kupiga kura ni muhimu, na ni kwa sababu unachagua kiongozi wako wenye anakaa. Na hii ni kazi wa Kilifi, na niko kwa sababu ya kupiga kura, kwa sababu najua kupiga kura ni muhimu.
Kwa nini ukaamua kuja siku ya leo ambapo ulijua kutakuwa na line ndefu? Umekuwa na siku zote, labda ukaamua leo kwa nini?
Ni kwa sababu harakati ya shughuli, lakini kwa sababu kupiga kura ni muhimu, ndio maana nikajibidisha. Nikaona afadhali nikuje nipige kura.
Shukran sana. Betty, allow me to pick the mind of another Kenyan here just to hear what they are up to and why actually they are making this as a day for them to register. Tueleza jina lako bwana, tuko live on KTN. Kwa nini labda leo kaamua uchague kuja leo kufanya registration yako?
Mimi naitwa Matsaki Mcharo, na nimeamua kuja kuchukua hii tiketi yangu kwa sababu leo kwamba ni siku ya mwisho ya kuchukua hiyo tiketi.
Ni Valentine's Day. Huoni kama unaharibu mipango yako?
Hata hakuna kuharibia mipango yangu, na raha nao sana.
Asante sana.